Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Openly Gray Life. I'm Kija Gray. I'm a storyteller, a meditation guide, and a joy practitioner. I was born in Toronto, Canada. I built a life and raised my family in Detroit, Michigan, and I just returned from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the place that reminds me of who I am beneath it all. So this is my first official talking head video here on YouTube, and I wanted to start here in the truth of what it means to return, not just from a place, but to yourself. I'm a woman of age, obviously, of experience, of power, and I'm still becoming, still stretching, still learning how to move between the many places and versions of myself. So today, I'm sharing 7 emotions I've been sitting with since returning. If you've ever felt like your body came back before your spirit could catch up, this video is for you. So before I share these 7 emotions I've been sitting with, I want to tell you why I go home to St. Vincent and the Grenadines every year. So this isn't just a vacation. It's a promise that I made to myself after losing my mom in 2015. I returned to St. Vincent to remember, to feel her, to feel me. It's a place I feel most alive, most seen, most held. My friendships there are deep and easy. My family is present. My church family pours into me. There's laughter, there's ocean, there's stillness. And in that pause, I find clarity. Coming back to the United States after that kind of presence, it's not simple. It's not just re-entry. It's a grief. It's a shift. And that's why I want to name it today. These 7 emotions help me make sense of it, and maybe they'll help you too. So the first emotion out of the 7 that I want to address and call forward is languishing. That sense of meh, not quite depressed, but not fully engaged either. The dull ache of almost caring. And I can tell you that that's how I felt sort of leaving the familiar things that I loved. I love going to the ocean every morning. And so not being able to have access of that, sort of had me feeling in between. So that languishing. And I will say for this video that a lot of times we hold space for sadness and anger and happiness, but there is so much more nuance. So I wanted to just bring that forward. So languishing is the first emotion I want to talk about. And so I was doing that for a few days where I was kind of like moving slow, longing, wanting to be back, wanting to be in that familiar sense of comfort. So first emotion. The second emotion would be disenchantment. Disenchantment. And that is the subtle disappointment of coming back to something you once found comfort in, but it no longer fits. So I'm at a stage in life where I used to come back from trips and my kids would literally make me these welcome home cards and they would jump on me. I would walk through the front door and they were just there and there was this excitement about mom coming home. Well, guess what? The kids are grown and, I open the front door and it's, for the most part, my partner and I are here, but for the most part, it is relatively quiet. The fanfare, the parades, the balloons, they don't exist. And that's okay. It's okay, but it's different. It's different. All right. So the third emotion is yearning. Yearning. It's an ache that's not just for what you left behind, but for how you felt while you were there. So when I'm home, I feel like there is the emotion of being with my family and friends, yes. But that yearning is really the deeper connection that I feel when I get up in the morning and I get to really think about what it meant to be at home with my mother. And so I do yearn for some of that feeling of really, really feeling connected to my mother's energy, to our laughter. I go to certain places and I remember us actually laughing about things together, you know. And so that is that third emotion for me, yearning. Number 4 is re-entry fatigue. And let me say that again, because that's not an emotion, is it, right? Re-entry fatigue. So not just jet lag, because we know what that is when we're flying from time zone to time zone. Re-entry fatigue, it's the energetic toll of trying to readapt to a version of life that no longer matches your inner rhythm. So I can tell you, every morning when I was at home, I would get up at about 4:30. I would meditate. I would put my bathing suit on. I would cut a papaya and share it with the man of the house that lives there. I enjoyed this ritual, right? And so I would head to the beach every day and just have this amazing swim, be out in the salt water, feel the sun on my skin. Sometime it rained. And so when I came back, those elements weren't necessarily there in the same ways that I was just used to being, haven't gotten into that rhythm. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a rhythm here. I just haven't managed to merge those rhythms together yet. And so, yeah, that's where I am. Number 5, melancholic gratitude. Melancholic gratitude. And so melancholic gratitude would be feeling deeply thankful for what you experienced and heart sore because it's over. That tender ache of beauty passing. You know, so I'm grateful, right? I want more. Maybe I'm greedy. I always want more. And there's, you can never have all the more that you want. But you have to grapple with this sense of what it means to be so profoundly grateful for the experience that you had, even though you know it's over. So I call that melancholic gratitude. It doesn't mean that I'm ungrateful for it, but it is, my heart just longs and I just like to savor it. Maybe that's it, right? The savoring of the time that I got to be there. And being able to visualize and put myself back there a little bit. So there are times when I'll just close my eyes and imagine what the seawater tastes like when I'm swimming and how much I enjoy that. And I'm grateful. Number 6 is ambiguous loss. Ambiguous loss. The grief of leaving something behind that's not gone forever, but no longer accessible in the same way. So I'm grieving the loss of just of the things that I can't access. And I'm going to be greedy here. Number 1 is the food, the local food. The things I take for granted, just a papaya like I mentioned earlier, or a sweet guava, a mango, my girlfriend's cooking. Just knowing that I had that to look forward to. So there's this ambiguous loss. And number 7 would be reverberation. Reverberation. And that is the aftershock of joy. How your body is still humming with where you've been, even as your current environment can't hold it. So there's a vibrational energy that we feel when we're on vacation or we go somewhere that just makes us feel so tapped in. And we come back to home and to the regular life that we live, and we're still vibrating with that energy. It is kind of like when an earthquake happens and they say that there are aftershocks of joy. And so I sit with that reverberation. And sometimes the way I hold on to that, in the past, what I would do is I would just cut off all connection with my family and friends there because it was just too painful. But what I do now in this reverberation is I might send a voice note. I remind people how much that are there, how much I care for them. I message, I might send a picture, but I try to stay connected because that thread makes sure that I can still feel. And so I hope for you that those seven emotions gave you something outside of what we usually feel, gave you a little bit more of a nuance, right? If any of these 7 emotions or feelings spoke to you, if you've ever returned from somewhere sacred and found it hard to land again, I just want you to know this. You're not alone. You're not broken. You're not ungrateful. Your body came back, but your soul is still catching up. You know what? That's okay. Let that be what it is. For me, this isn't about escape. It's about integration. I'm learning how to carry the stillness, the laughter, the clarity from home into every space I touch, even here, even now. So if you're walking through your own re-entry grief, drop a comment. Tell me which of these emotions shows up most for you. And if this resonated, I'd love for you to subscribe and stay connected. This is Openly Gray Life, where joy, grief, and becoming all belong. And I am Kija Gray. Keep living, keep loving. Peace.